Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. Today I'm going to use the Framed Florets stamps and dies and this beautiful pack of paper that's called Fancy Flora, and just absolutely gorgeous, very abstract looking. And I'm going to make a fancy fold card, and it is similar to one that we have been making in our face-to-face classes recently. My friend Valerie and I do classes together, and this month I have been making I designed and have been teaching a 3D project, and Valerie did a card. Now the card that she did, I will put a photo up in just a moment. Hope you agree that that's really, really pretty. And I was going to make one using a completely different suite or different product rather than the Country Floral Lane that we've been using in class. When I sat down to make this, I realised that Valerie's card actually uses US measurements. So the final card measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And in the UK, our imperial card sizes normally finish up at 4 1/4 by 5 7/8. Because our C6 envelopes that we buy from Stampin' Up are that size, so it's kind of tight that way and there's loads of space that way. So I thought I would revamp Valerie's card using my own measurements so that it ends up as a UK card size. So I've got a piece of A4 card. I'm going to trim that down on the short side to 5 7/8 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to keep this bit to the side just now because I'm going to use part of that for the belly band, and this then needs to be trimmed down to 11 1/4, which obviously is off camera, but you know how to do that. And then I'm going to do some scoring. So I'm putting that cutting blade way out of the way. First of all, I want to score at 4 1/8, then at 7 1/8, and then finally at 10 1/8. Easy peasy. Okay, so that's my scoring done. I'm going to bring this piece back in and I'm going to trim it down to 1 inch. Don't know why I put my guide away because I need it again. Down to 9 1/2. All of these measurements will be in my blog post, and I've already gone ahead and worked out and cut out the pieces of designer series paper. So that's going to be the back of the card. So I'm bringing that one over, get my bone folder and give it a good crease. Then fold that one back the way. Oops. Again, give that a good crease with my bone folder, and then this one comes over like that. Really nice. But that bit and that bit are roughly the same, with a bigger section in the middle, and it stands really, really prettily like so. And now you just need to do some decoration. Now on Valerie's card, she had lots of layers. I'm not really into layering quite so much. So I've got two pieces that are, I think I might have gone a bit squint there somehow. Or is it this bit that's squint? We'll run with it. Maybe it's just my eyesight. No, it's definitely squint. Never mind. So I've got two pieces that are 7/8 of an inch. No, they're not. They're an inch. I played about with sizes before I eventually decided. So these are 5 3/4 by 1 inch. And I'm going with one of them on the inside of that bit. Like that. And I should have another one. I'm going with the brighter, with the yellow on the outside. On this side. Okay. I think maybe it was my eyesight, because when I put it on it looks okay. Or does it? There you go. Okay, give that a little press. I'm getting a bit bulky. I've got a piece of white card that is going to sit in that centre section there. So when it's folded up, you won't see that, and that'll give you lots of space to write a little message. You could do a little bit of stamping on that as well, depending on how fancy you want to be. Then I've got this piece and that piece to put in. And somehow I've got glue on my fingers again. So I just want to check when that's folded over, I've got a nice contrast there, rather than having the same. Oh, actually, that's quite nice. No, I'm having the contrast. But that's the great thing about Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, is that the majority of it is double-sided. However, that does mean that it gives you more choice, and if you're not good at making decisions, like me sometimes, that can actually be a hindrance. Final piece, just adding that in. So in my blog post, you will get all of the measurements for the card I'm making, and I will also put the US card sizes in there, thanks to Valerie. Right, so this is the piece that we cut for the belly band, and I'm just starting slightly off centre there. Give it a crease at that side, bring it back round, not too tight, but making sure that I've got it in line there. I'll put a little bit of glue on that end and a little bit of glue on that end, so that we've got it stuck either side of that overlap. Okay, nice and easy. Now, with the Framed Florets, I have been using this particular die for something else to get the outside, and it meant I had some of the inside pieces cut, so I'm just going to use another one of them. I've also used this sprig die with copper foil. Copper's not something that I often use. Don't know the last time I used it. And I have stamped a couple of those little flowers with the Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to have them there. And then there are 2 dies because for these leaves that point either direction. And I've cut them with soft sea foam because there's a little bit of that in there as well. So that'll go in there, that one will go in there, and I need a sentiment on here. There's a beautiful one in, there's lots of beautiful ones in this, but that for a special person on a special day, I think is gorgeous. So I'm going to stamp that kind of up there, knowing where I'm going to put my flowers, etc. So I'm going to take them out of the way for now because I'm going to do a bit of heat embossing. I did think I would stamp in one of the colours from the designer series paper, but I thought I'd tie in that copper with some copper heat embossing. So using my embossing buddy that comes as part of the embossing toolkit, I then want to stamp that with Versamark ink. Just ink it up the same as you would any other stamp. Okay, try and get that relatively straight, and there will be nice. Okay. Then bring in this little tray. It's got something else in it. And sprinkle over that copper embossing powder. And I don't know what I've done with my tweezers that come in the set and the little brush. I had a little bit of an attempt to tidy up my craft room a couple of weeks ago, and I've obviously found a nice place to put it. Don't know where that is now. So even although you use your embossing buddy, I like to also make sure that I've got a little fine paintbrush on hand to take off any excess. Just put you on mute for a moment whilst I heat up my heat tool. Okay, so love that glossy sheen you get. So it looked really kind of sketchy when I stamped it and put that embossing powder over it, but all turns out gorgeous in the end. Right, so I'm going to need my little glue just to dab some on here. I would have brought in my silicone map. I can't find it. Honestly, tidying up is not a good idea. Pop that there, like that. Okay, so I can then come back in and add a bit more glue now that I know where it's sitting. There we are. Lovely, no glue on the wrong bits. Okay, so let's just build up our little bit of decoration. Put that over there a little bit. And I want one to come the other way. let's have that going along the outer edge there. Then I don't want to build this up too much for on the belly band, but I'll put my big flower up here, and then my little flower can go on there. So I'm not using dimensionals. You could if you wanted to. I'm just going to cover up the end of that stem that was overhanging there, and a little bit of glue mark that I had. See, can always cover things up. Right, so that is just going to sit on there. And actually I had another bit of designer series paper that I'd forgotten about that I'm going to put over the belly band as well. So this piece is 4 1/8 by 7/8 of an inch. Okay. Just ties that in a little bit more, and I'm going to just put some glue on here. Probably the safest place to do it. And then I can pop that on there. I think it needs a little bit of bling, and I don't have any copper, but I do have champagne. No, they're too goldy. I know they're brass, but here's my champagne rhinestones. Or very nice. Not used these yet, have I? Iridescent pastel gems. Why not? Why not indeed? No, I've not used them yet. Let's go with the blue ones, and these other ones are very iridescent. Very pretty. I think I will put a large one, if I can get it to come off, actually on here, continuing that round. With a little one beside it, another little blue one, I'll pop it there. Lovely. Righty-ho, I hope you've enjoyed this card. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to click on that subscribe button, and if you click on the bell, you'll get notifications the next time I upload a YouTube tutorial. Please do click on the description link for this video, and you will get a link to my blog post with all of the measurements and the products I've used. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, take care. Bye bye.